Hello and welcome to part 2 of our car chat video. Now in this part we discuss the Range Rover Velar. Well, when I say we, Steve did most of talking about the Velars, but you'll see that in a few moments. We also spoke about the Tesla Model X and electric cars in general, and we finished with the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro. Right, your turn, pick a car.
Range Rover Velar.
Ooh.
Range Rover Velar.
I like that.
I've been doing some research about this.
Oh, okay.
I have.
He's come prepared.
I have. Range Rover Velar. In the way that it goes in terms of models.
Yeah.
They're keeping the Range Rover Sport.
Yes.
Then you've got the Velar, however you pronounce it. And then you've got the Range Rover.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately with the Range Rover Sport, it just gets called the Range Sport. I don't think it deserves to be called a Range Rover.
Well, because it can't really go off-road.
No, it can. It's got fantastic off-road capability. I'm a huge Range Rover fanatic.
Yeah, but you wouldn't take a Sport off-road, surely.
You can do.
Yeah, but would
great.
you?
Well, we watched a car out of Bugatti Veyron that went off-road.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can. But then again, would you take a £100,000 Range Rover off-road?
No.
But it's just one of those things that it doesn't have the presence. Range Rover was always the car that ended up with technology on it that was tested previously on other vehicles. So they had to make sure that it worked, and it worked well before they put it into the Range Rover. With Mercedes, they do it the other way around. Everything new goes on the S-Class. Yeah. And they just hope and pray that it works.
And that it catches on.
So they thought, well, what do we do now? Do we put all this technology on a Discovery Sport, a Range Rover Sport, the new Evoque? I know, let's just build a whole new model and do that. So they thought that was the cheapest way of doing it, which I don't particularly agree with. Now, it's as wide as a Range Rover, give or take 5 or 6 centimetres, but it's 20 centimetres shorter. So it is a smaller vehicle than a Range Rover, but it's as wide, which I don't really get. But it's still not as big as a Range Rover Sport.
No, so for the model range, I believe it goes Evoque, Velar, then Sport. But
so what I don't get is somebody's going to walk in who's never owned one of these vehicles before and goes, can you tell me the difference in terms of the sizing? Because interior wise, the Sport and the Velar are virtually identical in every way. So why did they design a new vehicle?
So you're not a fan of it?
Hang on, what? I haven't finished it. So I don't understand where it sits in the market. Who's going to go in and go, I want a Range Rover Velar, and I'm going to pay more money for it, even though it's smaller than a Range Rover Vogue? So what Range Rover, in all their wisdom, have decided to do is just build a car, a bit like Honda with their scientists in their little room, and gone, there you go, there's an unlimited budget, build me the most technologically advanced Range Rover that you can, but you've got to make it smaller than a Range Rover. Yeah. Right, okay then, so they've gone in, everything is touch. There are no buttons in the entire car. Even the buttons on the steering wheel are touch pressure pads.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Now, again, I've never driven one. I don't suppose many people have. But if I'm driving along the motorway, I'm going to want to know what I'm pressing by the feel of it, especially on the steering wheel. Right. I'm not going to want to make sure I'm pressing the right part of the pressure pad. So it's got some amazing technology on it, and technology that I didn't even know that they could possibly do. So I had a little play on Range Rover's website.
Oh, go on. This will be fun.
Literally, I was there for 10-15 minutes scrolling through the options.
I'm not surprised.
It's ridiculous. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. There's too many options on it, and even without choosing everything, I still managed to make it £85,000. And that's choosing the 3-litre diesel version, not the V8.
Yeah.
So again, good luck Range Rover with that. You will find people that will buy it, but I don't get where it sits. You should have just put all that technology on a new Range Rover.
Yeah.
And done it that way, rather than do a whole new model of a car, which is basically a Range Rover Sport.
Yeah, I like the Velar, but I think what Range Rover has tried to do, in my opinion, is try to fill a gap in the market that isn't really there. And I just think, I don't know, you know, when you got it sat next to the Evoque and the Sport, I just think, how many people are actually going to buy it? But it's, you know, it seems to create quite a bit of interest. So who knows?
If all the technology works, then good on Land Rover. But if it was me, save your money, don't buy a Velar. Wait to see if all of it works, and when they put it on the Range Rover, buy the Range Rover.
Which one though?
The proper Range Rover.
Oh, okay.
The full size Range Rover. Because you'll pull up next to one, like they said at Top Gear one time, and you'll look over and you'll look up at a guy in a Range Rover.
Yeah.
You'll always look up to a guy in a Range Rover and go, maybe I should have bought a Range Rover instead.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's my rant over of the Range Rover Velar.
I think it's my turn to pick a car.
Yes, it is.
Just trying to think what other cars we wanted to discuss. Tesla Model X, a car that I drove a while back. I know you wanted to talk about kind of electric cars and Tesla and so forth.
Electric cars. Have you read what France are doing?
No. Have you?
The French government have announced that petrol and diesel cars will cease to be sold in France by the year 2040. So every new car after the year 2040 will be electric and or a hybrid.
I was about to say, what about hybrids? Have you heard what Volvo have announced this week?
2020 or something.
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
They won't make a combustible engined car.
Bold claim. Well, not
Bold.
a claim. Not a claim. They will do it, but it's like, that's a very bold announcement.
Yes.
It's a shame really, because you know, I love internal combustion engines, and let's face it, we all knew they weren't going to be around forever. But the fact that Volvo has come out and said that they're ditching fully, combustible engines by 2019, that isn't that long away. That's 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you just think, wow, is this the beginning of the end? And yeah,
I hope not. Aaron,
so do I.
really, really hope that it's not the end of it, because it will just kill motoring as a pastime.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to say? Oh yeah, I'll charge up my car's batteries tomorrow. I fancy going for a 35-mile spin before you run out of battery life.
Yeah.
And have to get towed back. Towing companies will make a fortune. If that ever works, I'm setting up a vehicle recovery service for electric vehicles.
What would you call it?
Oh, I'd come up with something. I don't know. I can't think now. I haven't thought about that. You've caught me off guard with that one.
You have to have a business plan.
Yes, I know. Give me a chance. I'm sure I'll come up with something.
So for Model X, a car that starts at £75,400.
Gull wing doors. I'm always a fan of a car with gull wing doors.
Oh no. Tesla is insistent that you call them Falcon wing doors.
Falcon wing doors. I'm always.
It's not a gull. Gulls are boring. It's a Falcon.
Falcon. Yeah, I like the doors on a Tesla. Do I like the price tag of a Tesla? No. I'll tell you one thing as well. One drove past me the other day, not a Model X.
Model S.
The saloon one.
Yeah, Model S.
It generates a lot of road noise. It was very loud on the road. The Prius bumbly goes along and you can't really hear it come. Even when it's doing 30-40 miles an hour, it's very difficult to hear one. This one, it was actually quite loud for an electric vehicle. It sounded loud on the road, but we digress. Electric cars have no place in this world.
Ooh. There you are, heard it here first. I was going to say I'm not completely against them, but the thing is, when it comes to electric cars, I'm not afraid to admit I'm rather close-minded. That's because, for me, nothing beats the sound of an engine, even if it's a 1.2 turbocharged as we have here. It's something to enjoy. It's part of the sensation. When you drive a Tesla, you just it just whirs away.
Yeah.
There's no excitement. Yes, the Model X is pretty fast. Even the 90D I drove that hit 60 in 4.8 seconds, which is by no means slow, but it is exciting when you put your foot down, all of a sudden all the power hits you at once, but you need something to go with that. When you've just got motors whirring, it feels a bit like an anticlimax.
Yeah, but in a combustible engine car, part of the fun is going fast. And you can see, you put £10 worth of fuel in it, you know that you're looking at that going, that's alright, and it gives you a countdown. It tells you how many miles you got left in the car. Same as an electric car. However, the faster you go with an electric car, the quicker you lose your power. And it doesn't have that great a range.
Yeah, but you can say the same that in a petrol or diesel car, the faster you go, the more fuel you're using. So it does work both ways.
It is, but you can always stop at a petrol station and put more in.
Yeah.
You will always be able to work on it. In an electric car, you won't be able to pay, what's the game, gas station?
Superchargers.
No. Where you're on the motorway and you've got like
service station.
Yeah, service station.
Yeah,
what's it called? Roulette. Service station roulette.
Yeah.
You know, where you've got like your car's showing 20 miles to go.
And you've got like 30 miles to get to the service station.
Yeah, you try and make it.
Yeah.
But would you risk it in an electric car?
No. Hell no.
So it makes you drive slower, more than anything, just to try and increase the range, because what you don't want to be doing is trying to get from here to Manchester and stopping every 3 hours to put a little bit of charge in your car.
Well, for a person at Tesla did say the Model X has got 300 miles of range, which is impressive, and that is good enough for daily use. But the thing is, even if you use a Tesla supercharger, from flat to full, I think it's 75 minutes, and that's with a supercharger. You just think, I'm sorry, but that is forever. That's almost the length of a feature-length film. And you just think, I'm sorry, when I go to a petrol station, I spend about 5-10 minutes. And the thing is, unless you have some sort of weird desire to just ogle for sausage rolls in a service station, why would you want to hang around for 75 minutes?
Exactly. This is my point. Totally my point.
It's not convenient.
No.
It's going backwards, if you ask me.
It is. I think so. Yes, they do have a place, but until the battery life gets to the point where I think that they start saying 800 to 1,000 miles on a charge, then I would seriously consider buying one, and one that I don't have to plug in every day. You know, that would be fine. I fill this car up to the brim, probably get 600 or 700 miles out of it.
That's probably impressive.
Right, and that's absolutely great. That's getting what, 60 something miles to the gallon out of it. You can't complain at fuel economy figures like that. However, like you've just said, you get 300 miles in a Tesla, and that's in the optimal conditions. The right heat, the right air density, flat roads, not using your heater, your aircon, your radio, nothing like that at all. You just sat there pootling along at 50 kilometres an hour, or whatever days that they do it in. Then you get 300 miles, then you got to stop for an hour and a half. And then you get to complete your journey. Whereas a combustible car, you're there 2 or 3 hours quicker, and you get to use your aircon.
Right. What would you like to discuss next?
You said something in your message to me about the Aston Martin Vulcan.
Oh, the AMR Pro?
Yeah. I've had a look at that. Is that a Le Mans 24-hour car? Is that why Aston Martin have done it? What? No,
so basically 24 were made, and they were sort of sent out to customers last year. So very limited numbers. So it's not road legal, obviously. So
is it like the Ferrari FXXK then?
Yeah.
So they will send their own kit team with you to a racetrack of your choice?
I believe so, yes.
Nice.
And it produces 804 horsepower. 0 to 62 miles per hour is about, I think it's about 2.5 seconds. So it's properly fast. Top speed is well over 200 miles per hour. Now, the AMR Pro doesn't add any extra speed. Not that you look at the standard Vulcan and think, oh god, it's a bit slow, isn't it? What Aston Martin has done is they've looked at the downforce, and they've made the car ever so slightly lighter. So it now produces, I think it's 4,000 Newton meters of downforce, which is very hard to sort of go, well, how much is that? It's kind of difficult to put into perspective. But yeah, it's got new dive planes, it's got a new rear spoiler, it's got a few other downforce bits. The engine cover is 5 kilograms lighter, so not a lot, but these things add up. And I just like the way how Aston Martin's gone, you know what, we're just going to make this car a little bit more extreme, because we're going to make sure that you can go around the corner even faster.
How much is it?
Well, all sold. The thing is, for AMR Pro, it's...
How much was it?
Oh God, now you're asking. Top of my head, I can't remember. But
it's over $1 million.
It must have been.
Must have been over $1 million.
Yeah.
So why would you buy one of those and not a Veyron? Why, if you've got £1 million to spend on a car, why would you buy one that isn't road legal and you have to have a crew of mechanics to take you to go on a track to use it? Why would you do it? What would be the point?
They're two very different cars though. The Veyron is, as we all know, extremely fast, but you wouldn't really want to take it on a racetrack, would you? It's a heavy car.
Yeah, but again, it's VW didn't design it just to be quick in a straight line. I would say that it's a racetrack. Every racetrack that it's been done, or however it's been raced, it does have the right level of intelligence in the car itself to stop you from crashing. You never hear about an idiot who's drove his Lamborghini, sorry, not Lamborghini, his Veyron into a tree.
Right, and that is the end of part 2. Now, the reason why I stopped it there, because you've just heard Steve say, oh, you've never heard about anyone crashing a Bugatti Veyron into a tree. So I thought to spite him, I would do a bit of research online to see if I can find something. And lo and behold, I did. So I think this article is from 2007. And let me just get it on the laptop. There we go, hopefully you can see that. So the headline says, just in case you can't read it, this is the first Bugatti Veyron to be wrecked on the streets. It is the fastest, ... And basically what happened was it crashed into a Vauxhall Astra before hitting trees. So yes, a Veyron has been crashed into a tree. So there you have it, Steve. Anyway, like I say, that's the end of part 2. If you did enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe for more car obsession.